Welcome everyone. Today we are going to take a look into Hendraheim. This is a player home that is available through Creation Club for Skyrim Special Edition. So without further ado, let's head over there and see what it takes to get this player home and what this new home entails. Accessing the quest for Hendraheim is pretty simple. It is a quest that is immediately added to your quest line as soon as you exit the cave from Helgen. It'll pop up, and the first objective is to await news from a courier. It does not take very long at all for the courier to find you and bring you the Warrior's Challenge, a note that we'll go ahead and take a look at here. Long ago, my ancestors built a great hall on the mountainside, north of Balgulch Mine. They called it Hendraheim, a warrior's home that rivaled Sovngarde itself. As the last of my clan, I wish to bequeath this home to a true warrior and a fellow Nord. I've heard you're a worthy fighter, but I would like you to prove it with your blade. Upon discovering Hendraheim, you will see the woman off to the side here with the quest marker. Now keep in mind, this quest is pretty simple, so you may be tempted to just travel here without reading the letter. You will need to read the letter in order to activate speaking to the warrior.
Yeah? Yes?
Now you have three options. Are you the fool who challenged me? I've come to accept your challenge. I received your letter. Now, I'm not sure if the response is different. I have chosen I've received your letter before, so let's go ahead and ask if she's the fool who challenged me.
That is so.
It seems like no matter what you choose, the response is essentially the same. She essentially ignores you and heads over to grab her materials. Now she isn't exactly easy to kill, so you will want to make sure that you're at a decent level probably before you try and take her on. She does have some good loot on her, but be sure to go ahead and loot her before you enter the house, because otherwise it seems some of the loot is missing if you do not. But with that being said, that is all you are required to do in order to access this new player home. You simply have to kill the warrior. Let's head inside. This is the entrance of the player home. You have some staff racks and some shield racks over here, as well as additional storage of shield and staff racks over here. Seating area, a table with some chairs. You have an alchemy and a enchanter. I do like the look of them being together, but this is not storage. You have a sack here and a satchel, but other than that, that's the only storage you have. So that is not ideal if you are big on enchanting or alchemy. I mean, you technically have storage, but they're not exactly visually appealing. Some supplies. You do have some drawers over here, so I suppose that is intended to be more of the storage. Some shelves. I'm not exactly sure what this would be intended do. I'm sure there is an actual reason for that. Here's your fire. You have a usable cooking spit. You have an oven. In regards to storage, once again, it's not looking like there's a lot of storage. Doesn't look like you can access those bags. You have a sack there. And that's essentially it for storage right by your oven. No storage immediately by your cooking spit. Well, you have drawers over here, so that's not too bad, I suppose. A little bar, it looks like. I mean, it does look good. I will say that. I find it interesting though, they specifically commented on the walls having, you know, conquest, which they do have these skeletons, but you would think they would have used actual, you know, animal heads that they use in other homes, you know, like an actual cave bear or saber cat, something along those lines, but they're just these skulls, which is kind of interesting considering they specified that. This area is a little weird. The fact that it tapers off this way makes it pretty awkward. You have a few mannequins here and a display case. Small weapon plaques, display case with a sword you cannot interact with, and some more mannequins. So it looks like you have 5 total mannequins in this area. And this takes you back to the front. Let's head over this way. So you have a dining area. Nice little dining table. You can sit on the bench or in the chairs. And this seems to be part of our kitchen. So you have a barrel, some sacks, and another drawer. But once again, it is that awkward configuration. I mean, technically it's usable, but it just has a bit of an awkward feel to it. And it looks like that once again goes to our front entrance. So we'll head back to this room behind our main hall. Okay, so this seems to be the bedroom. We have children's bed, or perhaps followers. They have some storage for them. A shrine of Akatosh. And a usable bookshelf. A safe. With a desk. You do have a lockbox here on the desk. A burial urn that you can use, and another bookshelf that you can use. Knapsack. Bookcase. And here is the player bed. A little interesting you can't get to the other side of the bed. I don't suppose that's a deal breaker. if you have a spouse, I'm not sure how that works though. I believe that would indicate that your spouse can't sleep, because obviously NPCs aren't going to crawl across the bed, so you wouldn't be able to technically sleep with your spouse, I believe, with that happening. And then you have another set of drawers here that you can utilize. So yeah, that bed is a little interesting. It's not very accommodating to having a spouse in the game. Not that you necessarily sleep with your spouse in this game, but it is an option now that essentially is revoked by having the bed that way. So we have looked at everything on this first level here, so we'll go ahead and head to the space down here. You have a weapon plaque right there. No loading for a separate room, so that's pretty nice. So this seems to be your trophy room. We have a shield rack, a weapon rack, plenty more mannequins. This is shelves to put all of your claws. More mannequins. Now these are specific weapon plaques, so Dawnbreaker, Mace of Molag Bal, Dragonbane, your masks, Ebony Blade, Rueful Axe, Volendrung, Oreo's Bow, Oreo's Shield, Harkin's Sword, Dawnguard Rune Shield, more mannequins, oh, I see. Looks like there's specific placeholders here. Targe of the Blooded, Ethereal Shield, and Spellbreaker, as well as display cases. Activate Dagger Rack. So that's nice. Why, excuse us, Serena. Display cases sometimes are tricky because a lot of times they won't make it to where you can easily place them by activating them. But that is not the case here. Yeah, it seems...
Oh,
no,
what is it?
Sorry. If our companion wasn't in the way. Isn't that always the case, though? So all 4 of these dagger racks are usable. Wuthrad, Shield of Ysgramor. These are not accessible. We'll continue here. Our Paragons and the Jar series. Initiate's Ur, Torsten's Skull Key, Sarek's Skull Key, Coldborn's Skull. Another mannequin, and Dwarven Black Bow of Fate, Champion's Cudgel, Blood Skull Blade, Glass Bow of the Stag Prince, Blood Scythe, Serena, Soul Render, Hoarfrost. And then we have Mirok's sword here. And then another generic shield rack and weapon rack. So there you have it. This is your trophy room. So, overall, now that we've taken a solid look at the place, I do like the idea of creating a more traditional Nord home. However, it feels like the functionality on this has flopped. There's not really a lot of great storage. And with the bed being a bit of a flop, I personally like to utilize Hearthfire and marry and have children, and this bedroom is just quite cramped. They do have some nice details, as always, but it's just not quite all there. It certainly feels like it could have been better executed. However, if you've taken a look at this and you like it, it is available and relatively easy to get. Outside of Hendraheim, we do of course have this shed that we saw our warrior standing at. However, if you go behind this shed, there is a wood pile where you may use a wood chopping block. We also have a smelter and a working area over here as well. We have a grindstone, tanning rack, blacksmith forge, and a chest to store items in, as well as a workbench. And a companion to mess it all up.
In a cave. Anywhere, just out of this.
Aside from that, there isn't much going on. There are no seemingly crop plots to utilize, and you really are kind of next to some dangerous areas. I have not stayed in this place long enough to know how many, if any, issues you may have as far as enemies. There is a dragon, a frost dragon nearby that did attack us, as well as a cave bear. So there are definitely some hostiles that you'll want to keep an eye on, or perhaps may have to continue to take care of. But otherwise, that is Hendraheim. I personally wouldn't necessarily recommend getting it, but if you have taken a look and obviously if you feel that you do like it, then it's completely open to you, of course. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please be sure to like this video and possibly subscribe to my channel and continue to see some of our future content. I do a lot of Let's Plays and gameplay in that regard, but I'll also, of course, share the occasional review or just kind of informational video like this one when I'm able to. Anyways, hope to see you stick around, and I'll catch you next time.